You're not fat because you eat too much, and you're definitely not fat because you don't exercise. You actually don't exercise and you eat too much because you're fat. And I know some of you are going to be sat clicking on this video thinking this is some wishy-washy bullshit. But if it was wishy-washy bullshit, then explain to me why. I'm the one that's outperformed this statistic that 95% of people who lose weight put it back on within 5 years. Because I've actually managed to lose 60 kilos and keep it off for over 10. And if that sounds like something that you want to do, then just hear me out for a couple of minutes. Before we get into any of this, it's important that you realize comparison isn't the thief of joy. Because I know a lot of people who really struggle with their self-esteem or weight often compare. Comparison is a hired thief, and you fucking hired him to show yourself that you're not happy or that you don't feel good enough. It's not that the comparison is not making you feel good enough. You see, you've probably had a few fleeting moments throughout your life thinking, I'm so fat I need to exercise. Or had that moment where you're sat on the couch after milling a tub of Ben & Jerry's or a few packets of crisps thinking, I'm a fat cunt, I need to get out and walk. Or I need to get out and exercise because I'm fat. And that is the shittest form of motivation that anybody can use. You see, when you're fat, you don't deserve any form of self-care. You need to stop exercising for the sake that you're fat, and you need to start exercising because you're somebody who takes care of themselves, because you want to feel good. And then exercise stops being a punishment for being fat and starts to do something that you reward yourself with to feel good. So you'll no longer punish yourself at running because you're just doing that because you feel like that's the best way to lose fat. And instead, you'll start going out for a walk or doing some gardening or pogo sticking around the fucking house because that's a form of exercise that you enjoy and makes you feel good. And you'll only find that if you stop trying to punish yourself with it. Every key has a different hole or a door that it opens. And exercise is the exact same thing, and you're the fucking key. You just need to find a hole that you fit into. And hopefully it's not someone's arsehole, although that technically still counts as a form of exercise. And if you're telling me you don't like exercise, I don't accept that as an excuse. You just haven't tried enough different types. And that's okay. But the more that you see yourself as a fat person, the more that you're going to think, oh, I don't deserve to be here, or people are going to make fun of me going to the gym, or compare yourself to others, because you already feel that lack of worthiness. And if you're not feeling worthy within yourself, why would you feel worthy to take care of yourself? And what you actually need to realize is that you are not fat, you just have fat. And there's a fucking stark difference to that. Because it is not who you are, it's what you have. It does not determine what you can or what you can't do. And when it comes to starting exercise or movement, I know it can be scary when you feel not good enough or when you feel fat. But I challenge you to do it shit. The best advice I ever got was when somebody asked me to write a book and I'm shit right. So I emailed them back and said, I'm never going to be able to do that. And then I received an email back that changed the way that I looked at things. He said, every book starts off shit, write a shit one, and we'll build it from there. And the same goes with your exercise. Do a shit squat, or do a 2-minute walk, or get out of breath going up the stairs. So eventually you don't have to. Now on to nutrition. There's no such thing as a fattening food. All food has calories, some have more, some have less. And if you eat too many, that's how you get fat. But the reason that you're eating too many is because of how you feel. Because I'm of the belief you're not fat because you overeat. You overeat because you're fat. So let's start this with some fucking imagination. Little Jimmy, close your eyes. I want you to think of an athlete, maybe someone that you see doing sports on TV, or maybe some fucker that was the fittest cunt of the bunch. And I want you to think of what it's like when they have a burger, chips, a takeaway, or some food that you see as fattening. How do they react? They move on the next day. But when you have a takeaway, and when you have a food that maybe you classify as not allowed, you don't continue. Instead, you like to beat yourself up and point out the self-fulfilling prophecy that you're fat. That's why you did it. You ate that burger because you're fat. All that leaves you then doing is eating more. Why do you eat food? Because it tastes nice. And what is tasting nice? Something that feels good. So we eat food because it tastes nice, because it feels good, and therefore, when we don't feel good, we eat more food because it helps us feel good. When you overeat and you beat yourself up for overeating, which bearing in mind, everybody overeats. Even people who aren't overweight overeat. But the difference between the people who don't struggle with their weight and the people that do is the way that they speak to themselves after. And the reason that happens is because you have the belief that you are fat rather than the view that you have it. And you have it because that's who you see yourself as. And maybe you do good for a few days, a few weeks, or a few months, or maybe even some people do well for a year. And then you face a birthday party, maybe Christmas time or an occasion, and you overeat slightly. You instantly fall back into that method of beating yourself up and ultimately saying, fuck it, I'll start again. It will never ruin your life by having a burger. But what will ruin your life is the way that you speak to yourself, the way that you see yourself. And so when you start to change that, everything changes. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And think of the way that you look at yourself. I don't care if you like, subscribe, just fuck off after this video. If you just do one thing for me, it's to change the way you see yourself. You're not fat, you have it, but we all have fat. And you can change it. That change starts in here, not in here. And remember, we all have bad days. The same as we've all stubbed our toe once. Just because you stubbed your toe doesn't mean that you restart your life and off yourself. You continue on, because you know stubbing your toe is a normal part of life. And so maybe my overall message in one sentence is just stop beating yourself up. Because even if you get skinny, but you beat yourself up, I don't think you're going to feel much happier than you are now. Matter of fact, you'll probably feel worse because what you thought was the solution you worked so hard to get turned out not to be. And instead it could have been something that you changed all along, which is simply the way that you speak to yourself.